fellow bass men and women. So just recently I decided I wanted to get back into double bass, upright bass. I had one 10 years ago, never mastered it, and I thought I'll go have a look on YouTube, see what's out there about buying a budget bass. Quite a bit of info about how to play one. Not a lot about shopping for one, and certainly not a lot of info on this one that I've bought. So just thought I'd do a quick unboxing video. So the style that I play is kind of rockabilly, but it's more straight rock. Usually I'm a 4-string electric bass player, and I've wanted to get back into upright bass for a long time, so I've taken the plunge and gone for an entry-level bass again. I didn't want to spend a massive amount of money and end up with something that I would not use and regret paying thousands for. So having said that, this review I'm doing is on the Stentor brand Rockabilly bass. They sell it as a rockabilly style bass. Now it is fairly basic, but quite solid. It's an all plywood bass, so for all the purists who are looking for an orchestral bass, this probably isn't the video for you. But for those like me who are transitioning from electric bass over to an upright, this might be a good instrument for you. We'll go through and take it out of the box and see what I got for my money. Okay, so we've got our Stentor bass here. It seems packed pretty well. We'll get this thing home and we'll have a look at what's inside. Okay, so we've got our bass inside and I'm just about to pull it out of the box. I'll show you the info on the end of the box. So we know it's a Chinese bass. There was never any illusion that it was going to be anything else at this price. You can see the model on this one. It's a 1950L and it's a black 3/4. So let's get this thing out of the box and see just what we've got in here. Alright, as you can see, it's a pretty hefty box it comes in, but let's have a look and see how well packed it is. A little bit of packing in there. Might have expected to see a bit of foam or some of those little pillow cushions or something, but it's all cardboard. Looks pretty well packed. Looks like half a tree's gone into the packing. Parts in there. I suppose the first thing you can see is it actually comes with a bag, which is a bonus. You don't have to outlay for another bag straight away. Right, no parts in there. Thankfully we've got some handles. I'll try and pull this thing out and we'll reset the camera up and have another look. And I need a bigger studio. Okay, so we've got this thing out of its giant coffin that it came in. First impressions of the bag are pretty good. Seems to be fairly solid. Quite well padded. I was expecting a cheaper bag, like paper thin, but it's actually got a fairly decent amount of padding to it. A couple of pockets in it. Got a pocket with a bow that comes included. Alright, let's open this thing up and see what we got. Now, this came in 3 or 4 different colours according to the website, but the local stockist here in Australia only had black or natural wood. And being that I'm not a fan of natural wood, I went with the black one. First impressions, it's actually quite a nice finish. I don't know what type of finish it is. The website was calling it dual black purfling, which I have no idea what that means. It didn't say that it was an enamel finish, or it didn't say that it was a nitro finish, but it seems fairly robust. It's a good clean slate if you want to do some artwork on it. If you want to make it a bit rockabilly. This model is sold as a rockabilly style, but it's good to see that it came already strung, although sometimes you get a bit nervous with these things in freight with the bridge fitted, because if they cop a whack on the bridge, it can really damage things. You can even punch the bridge through the front. Tailpiece is nothing fancy. I think it's actually aluminium. It's got a metallic ring to it. It's definitely not a wood of any kind. But this type of bass, because it's aimed at the rockabilly market, they want something pretty robust. It's going to get belted around, so fragile stuff is probably not what you want on this. Alright, well, I'll get it out of the bag and we'll put it up against the wall and see how it looks in the light. Okay, we've got it out. In a minute I'll pull the camera off the stand and have a few close-up shots, but the paint finish is fairly reasonable. There's a funny little blemish on this side here, which I think might just be rubbing in the carton in transit. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's kind of grey. Looks like some of the clear's rubbed off, but should be able to tidy that up. With how far this thing's travelled in a cardboard box, I'm not surprised. For those who don't know how big Australia is, this came from Melbourne and I'm in Perth, so that's like travelling from the east coast to the west coast. Is about 2,500 to 3,000 kilometres, something like that. So it's actually turned up in better condition than I expected. I was thinking the worst and hoping for the best. But anyway, small paint blemish won't be a problem. This is going to spend a lot of time as a gigging instrument and on stage, so I think that'll be the least of my worries. And it's right about where you rest it against your stomach when you play anyway, so it's probably going to rub through there eventually, especially with my curvature. It came with an adjustable bridge, standard, which is a bonus. So if you're spending like 60 or 80 bucks or whatever they are for an adjustable bridge, machine heads on it, tuners, whichever you want to call them, open gear type, probably bronze plated or brass plated, I would say, at this price point. I haven't tuned this yet, so it's miles out. Just pulled it straight out of the box, but fingerboard, I don't know a lot about the shape of the fingerboard on this one yet. I'll have to play it for a bit and see how it feels, but I'll do another review video later with the with how it plays once I've set it up. For a budget bass made out of plywood that's going to do hard yards, it's probably a good starting point for anyone who wants to get out on the road or learn bass without spending a huge amount of money. Dollar wise, in Australia this cost me $1,350, which is really very well priced. I think their retail or normal retail is about $1,600 Australian. You very rarely find any kind of rockabilly style bass in Australia for under about $2,000. So if it lasts me for a few years, I'll be happy. All right, let's have a close-up look at it. So you get an adjustable bridge. My last one didn't have adjustable, so this will be a welcome change. Markings on the F hole here, so you can align the bridge when you're setting it up. Here's a bit of a close-up of the tailpiece. As I said before, it's just an aluminium or some kind of metal. The strings that come with this standard are flat wound steel strings, so if you were a rockabilly traditionalist, these probably wouldn't be for you. You'd probably want weed whackers or gut strings or some kind of nylon. I'm planning to be playing more straight up rock on this, and I'm actually going to be using a magnetic pickup, so the steel strings for me are a bonus. Means I don't have to go and spend a couple of $100 on replacement strings straight away. I'll see how it plays first once I've fitted the pickup. So here's your tuning pegs. Fairly reasonable. Like the quality and the finish of them's quite nice for what they are. They look pretty solid. Probably see the metallic fleck in the paint now with the light the way it is. It's quite hard to sort of show what the colour's like, but it's kind of a gunmetal grey through the camera, but when you're in the room with it, it's kind of more black. The light seems to ping off it and make it very silver looking, but when you turn it more like this into a darker patch, it almost looks straight black. So it's not a bad finish. Oh, and here's that blemish I was going to show you. Just here. It's kind of rubbed there a bit in the carton, but as luck would have it, that's about where your stomach is going to sit when you pull the bass into you. So whilst, you know, if it was a $10,000 bass, I'd be upset, but at this price point, yeah, it's not really going to bother me. I'll probably get a bit of car cut and polish on it and see if I can tidy it up a bit. But like I say, it's probably going to end up with a bit of rub there from your clothing anyway. No pinstripes or anything on it. I'm going to get a local pinstriping guy who does hot rods to actually give this one a bit of love and make it a little bit more rockabilly style. So in another video, I'll hopefully be showing you that once I've done it. Oh, and just quickly, we haven't looked at the end pin. Might just quickly have a look down there for you before I end this video. Okay, so we've got an end pin with a rubber cap. Probably for what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace this with one of the round ball type. They look like a rubber golf ball. I'll always be playing on hard floor stages, so I don't want a spike on it. Having said that, I know this end pin doesn't come out. I thought some of them they've got a spike on the other end and you can turn them round, but this one doesn't. Actually, this one's probably got a spike under the rubber. Let's have a look. Yeah. So there's a spike there if you want to use it on carpet or whatever, but for me, the rubber cap is what's going to be staying on there. Alright, I'll leave you with it. There's just a shot of the sparkle finish paint, and hopefully I'll be back in another video showing you how the setup of the pickup has gone and maybe do a bit of a sound test.